We're going to start off with a subject called the inner child. When we're children, the first time we get hurt, we stop growing. Our body grows, but we don't really grow. We're always a child. We're still looking for love and still looking for approval. And the best way to fix this is to heal the inner child, which is us as children. So we're going to do a little meditation, and we're going to call the higher self, our soul. Sometimes I'll say higher self, sometimes soul, but it's the same thing. And we're going to ask, in our imagination, we're going to ask our soul to take us back to the first time we were hurt as children. The soul might show you a different image than what you had in mind. It might not be the very first time, but it might be the most important time. I'm going to repeat this in the meditation, but I want to tell you so you can have an idea. Then you imagine yourself with this body, at this age, seeing yourself as a child. You go close to this child. It will not be afraid because it recognizes the energy. And we're going to say, I am your future. And I'm here to tell you that at the end, everything's going to be okay. Don't say everything's going to be good, because there's no good or bad in the universe. Find another word for good. I usually say okay, but if you can find another word, that's all right too. Then you give the child, which is you as a child, give it a hug. And say, I love you. And then say, where would you like to go today? And then you're going to imagine that you're taking the child where it wants to go. Spend the whole day with it in your imagination. I'll be guiding this in the meditation. And we let the child talk. Don't talk too much to the child. And never give advice to the child. We have had enough of advice as children. Just let the child talk. Let it say whatever it wants. Let it express, and you just listen. This is the easiest way to heal our child, our inner child. Because we had so much to say as children and nobody listened. And this is what we're still looking for, people to listen. Now, the mind cannot separate fantasy from reality. So we're going to do this in our imagination, but for the body it will be real. It will be as if it happened. Now, only whoever wants to, no one has to be forced to do it. And for those who think they cannot meditate, is there anyone here who thinks they cannot meditate? No, okay, I don't have to explain it then. Just in case there is someone, let me say something. Pretend you're imagining that you're visiting Paris or London. And you shut your eyes and you imagine yourself in Paris. That is how we meditate. Exactly the same way. Okay, don't think you're going to see fireworks. Again, only whoever wants to. Slow, deep breath. One more slow, deep breath. I forgot to say, shut your eyes. And say, higher self. And just imagine a colorful fog in front of you. This colorful fog is your soul. Imagine that you're going close to your soul. Imagine that you're going close to this colorful fog and you're putting one of your hands in there. How do you think your hand would feel inside your soul, inside this fog? If you like this feeling, put your other hand in there too. And now let this colorful fog slowly pull all of you in. Now let this colorful fog that is your soul give you a big hug. Notice the unconditional acceptance. Now say to your soul, take me to the first time I was hurt as a child. Now, it's important not to use your brain. Go to the first image that comes to your mind. And imagine yourself as a child there, being hurt, feeling hurt. It might be inside the house, it might be outside, it might be at school. Go close to this child. It's looking at you. Say to it, I am your future. I'm here to tell you that in the end, everything is going to be okay. Give it a big hug. And whisper into its ear, I love you. Now ask the child, where would you like to go today? Or what would you like to do today? Usually it would want to do something that you couldn't do as a child. And now imagine going with the child and letting the child do whatever it likes. And let the child talk to you. It's just as real as you are right now. You have gone back in time. If you want to, ask the child a question, but do not give advice. If he wants to go somewhere else now, imagine going somewhere else as well. Otherwise, just stay there. Now, see it getting a little bit darker? The day's finishing. And start taking the child back home again to its bedroom. No one's going to see you walk into the house, don't worry. Only the child can see you. Go to the bedroom or wherever it was you were sleeping. If the child is young, help it get into its pajamas. See the child getting into bed? And again say to it, in the end, everything's going to be okay. Give it a kiss on the cheeks or the forehead. And say, I'm going to come back again and get you one day. Slowly leave the room, leave the house, nobody's going to see you. Whenever you're ready, take a slow, deep breath and come back to your chair. We can do this again whenever we like. Never think, did I do it the right way? There's no wrong way of doing something. It's the desire to do something that makes it happen, not the actions. And do not be surprised when you go back again, the child might be a little bit older. The first time I went to my inner child and I said, what would you like to do today? It wanted a milkshake. And I'm thinking, why would it want a milkshake? And then I remembered that my mother would not let us drink milkshakes because we were too full to eat her food afterwards. So when I was a child, I was always desiring milkshakes. Okay, so don't be surprised if it's asked for something silly. It's these little things we don't get as children that shape the rest of our lives, literally. Also, I said it earlier, don't be surprised if it's older when you go back. The third time or the fourth time I went, my child was 18. So it grew up by me going back to heal it all the time. Okay. That's it for the inner child.